starting over, or are you just starting a new beginning? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it. Let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss how to accept your new beginnings, not to beat yourself up for having to start over, which is just you changing your way of living, as well as recommendations, reminders, disclaimers, and what you should be aware of. Starting off with the introduction, a lot of people think that them starting over means that they're a failure or that they're behind in life, not realizing that in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you had to have overcome certain things. In order for you to heal and be abundant and be the person who you wanted to be, you've had to let go of certain things. Like, you have to experience change in order for your life to change. You can't say you want change and then when things happen unexpectedly to you, which is technically alignment, feel confused or unsure or not execute and continue with what it is that you're asking for. So the first thing you need to be aware of is that you're not starting over. You're being rerouted, but it's not starting over because your life already started. Make sure you got your pen and your papers and maybe some popcorn for this one. But it's like our life already started. We don't get to rewind. We don't get to go backwards in life. And that's the truth. Now, as your favorite mental health specialist, who's really your favorite rich auntie, we're not sugarcoating anything. Now, just because you can't rewind what you've done in your past, just because you can't go back in your past, doesn't mean that you can't take those moments to learn, doesn't mean that you can't change, doesn't mean that you can't evolve, doesn't mean that you can't improve yourself. But worrying about what you did and how you felt when it's already happened is only going to limit you. It's only going to make you feel stagnant. So it's just like the best thing that you can do when it comes to your new beginning is accept your past. And once again, I'm speaking from experience. Accepting your past takes years, time, energy, and effort. Until you have let go of what you need to let go, until you took the time to heal, isolate, separate, cut off certain people, places, and things, change behaviors, put in the work, go to God, ancestors, universe, seek a psychiatrist, seek a therapist, it's going to seem difficult. It's going to seem challenging. You're constantly going to feel like you have to start over when you're just being rerouted, because it's all a part of the plan. Like, you're meant to learn lessons. Some of us learn lessons the hard way. Some of us, we get it on the first time. You don't have to compare and contrast because nobody went through the things that you went through. And unless they did, it doesn't matter what they think. If they're not financing you, feeding you, educating you, it is what it was. It is what it was. It is what it is. Those people, places, and things that you met in that certain time in your life were there for a season. You're going to move forward. The second thing you need to be aware of is that as you're learning to embrace your new identity, you have to allow yourself grace. Look what you've gone through. If you're going to look at your past, look at it as motivation and inspiration, or like a guideline. So if in your past, maybe you're used to being around toxic people, places, and things, and in this present moment you don't want to be toxic, and in your future you don't want to be toxic, reflect on the environments and the situations in yourself where you had to be toxic, and acknowledge what you can do differently, what you did in the moment, and evaluate what was worth your time and your energy and effort. You see, all the things that we went through doesn't always have to be negative. You feel me? Of course, when you're going through things and you haven't overcome them in the moment, you think it's the end of the world. And I'm speaking from experience. There have been times in my life and I was just like, I knew it wasn't the end of the world, so I'm not going to say me, but I know you're not me. But like, there have been times in my life and I was just like, I had a moment, but because I am the way that I am, I'm not staying still for a long time. Now, of course, did I go through things that I have to heal? But yes, I understood like there's a bigger picture. And that's what you got to get to. You got to realize there's a bigger picture. So it's like, just because, maybe you did do certain things, like the things that I did that were, let's just say, negative to anybody else other than me, I realized why I did what I did. Now, of course, have I learned and matured and handled certain situations a little bit better and become wiser? Yes. But like I said, I'm not going to beat myself up about how I reacted and responded and did certain things in the moment, because that's all I knew. Don't you think if we knew better from our past, we would have done better? And if you did, guess what? You got tapped. You got popped. The universe rocked your world. It's okay. Sometimes you got to get knocked out to realize, okay, you can't just be doing any and everything. What we do comes with consequences. And if you've never been disciplined before, you will be. That's what your past is to show you, where you lack discipline and where you need to become disciplined. But it's like, I'm not about to beat myself up off of what I said and what I did in those moments based off of what I knew. Now, of course, moving forward in the current moment, in the present moment, you can no longer use that as an excuse. And that's the third thing. Just because you're having a new beginning doesn't mean that you have to be, sad and depressed for the rest of your life. Doesn't mean that you can't move forward. And if you don't take the time to do the work, if you don't take the time to heal yourself, if you're not watching these videos, if you're not seeking therapy, God, ancestors, universe, if you don't want better, of course it's not going to make sense to you. Of course you're going to think it's the end of the world. But it's like, me personally, I know I didn't go through certain things for no reason. And of course, as you're becoming wiser and you learn, like I said, from our past, as you use it as a guideline and you see where you're meant to be and where you're going, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. Especially if you didn't know what you know now. Like, it doesn't make sense. If you didn't have the finances and the resources and the tools and the guidance and the support, do you think it's fair for you to constantly be mean to yourself or critique yourself or be hard on yourself? And it's just like, no. Even if you have high standards, like, I have very high standards. I've always had high standards ever since I was a little gal, and now that I'm a lady, a grown woman, I'm just accepting that. I'm not worried about people placing things from the past. Been there, done that. They're a memory. I will never speak to them again. They will never speak to me ever again. Like, life is gonna go on. And it's just like, when you realize what you've gone through, and that's the fourth thing, you'll give yourself grace. It's like, let's just say you did have a childhood that was traumatic. Let's just say you did go through poverty and psychological abuse and wars and attacks and fighting demons. Let's just say you did suffer, right? It's not going to be for your entire life. There is purpose in why you went through the things you did, and you have to overcome them. That's when you start to realize, okay, why you went through the things that you did. What were you supposed to learn in those moments? But it's like, if you realize how far you've come, you'll learn to be proud of yourself. Like, give yourself grace. Give yourself more credit. Like, a lot of people who judge people, make fun of people, they can't do what you do. They've been folded. So it's like, why listen to people who really haven't, gone through anything? And it's not to wish that on anybody. Like, I would never wish any of my trauma onto people. But I know everybody reaps what they sow, including me. Like, you don't get to talk badly about people and then think that stuff is not going to happen to you. So it's like, watch your mouth. If you don't have nothing nice to say, when it comes to people, don't speak on them, because 100% of the times, all the people who talked about me when I was going through certain seasons that I was supposed to learn from, because I only knew what I knew, they end up in the same situation, if not worse, and a lot of them didn't make it out. Like, you need to realize how fortunate you are to have a new beginning. It's a blessing. A lot of people don't bounce back from the things they went through. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm very proud of you if nobody told you. Like, I did go through a lot, and it's not to minimize, because it's like, once I tell you guys what I've gone through, you're going to be like, oh my God. And the people that knew, you couldn't do nothing. Like, who you supposed to be? Nobody's scared of you. Like, it just makes you realize, and it just made me realize, like, baby, I'm a boss. I'm self-made. Everyone's not self-made, and I'm allowed to flex however I want to, because it's like, I did go through certain things and I did overcome them. And that's the same thing with you. When you give yourself grace, when you have these new beginnings, you need to be proud of yourself. You need to realize how strong you are. You need to realize what you were up against. You need to realize you had to go through these things so you can become equipped and become educated and reap the benefits in the harvest. Because it's like, when you went through the seasons where you were down, when it's time for you to be up, baby, it's up and it's stuck for life. You're going to be straight. You become, like I said, sharper. So it's just like, as you're in these moments of, just embracing your new beginnings, relax. Because it's like, you can't control time. You don't always have control over your life. Things are going to happen. And it's just like, we're not meant to be here forever. So it's like, learn to enjoy life. Learn to enjoy your life. Learn, grieve. Just make sure you're caught up, because like I said, moving forward, that's where we're at. So if you're not caught up, you need to watch all the other videos. Take notes. Ask me what you want to talk about. If not, we're moving forward. So now, What are the recommendations as you're welcoming this new identity and this new beginning? Figure out what it is that you want to do and take your time doing it. It's very simple, very self-explanatory. You don't have to start over. Just pay attention. When you pay attention before you're going, you'll get to where you need to be. When you're not a rush, you'll get there where you need to be. When you're not competing, when you're not comparing yourself, you'll get to where you need to be. What you want is not going to go nowhere. What's for you is for you, and it's going to arrive when it's meant to arrive. A lot of times we think we have control over time and when things are going to happen. You will be disappointed. And this doesn't mean that you wanting things is a bad thing, but it's just like, it's a time that everybody receives what they're meant to receive. So it's just like, hang in there, keep showing up. Of course, like I said, when you're having to be rerouted or you're having to learn new things or you're having to let go of certain things, like, of course, you're going to feel some type of way. And this is why the second thing I recommend is just expressing yourself and booking your service in your sessions and making sure you have people to confide in, because you'll feel like you're going through identity crisis. You'll feel like you're losing your mind. And that was the first video that I posted for the month of November. So check that out and all the other videos for this month of November's playlist. But it's like, you're not. It's just, when it's time for you to grow and it's time for you to change, things have to change. And it's like, what you were once familiar with, it's not going to make sense anymore. So it's not the fact that you're starting over. Like, the things that I had to overcome, it's not necessarily that I had to start over. I just had to grow up. I just had to become more mature. I just had to become wiser. Like, my discernment became sharper. My intuition became, like that. And that's the same thing with you. Like, you're just becoming more mature, because that's what happens in life. You evolve. Like, you're not going to be 5 years old forever. You're not going to be 10 years old forever. You're not going to be 12 years old forever. You're not going to be 20 years old forever. You're going to mature. And if you're watching these videos, because that's who my content is for, you're mature. Doesn't matter your race, gender, ethnicity. You're going to grow. You're going to evolve, which means everything about you is going to change and grow and evolve. So it's just like, appreciate the time. But you have to talk about how you feel. Like, you have to be vulnerable. This is why I make these contents, these videos. Don't worry about anything else, because it's like, in your new beginning, you get to decide what's for you and what's not. But it's like, you got to be honest. You got to be vocal. Like I said, you need to watch all the other videos, because at this point, it's not going to make sense if you're not on the same page. So if you're not on the same page, pause this or watch it all the way to the end. Pause it and watch the other videos. The third recommendation when it comes to embracing your new identity and your new beginning is just to see what's for you and what's not. As you continue to work on yourself and you watch all the other videos and you're doing what you need to do to become better and achieve your goals, you're going to realize what's for you and what's not. Everything else, just let it leave. And a lot of people have control issues. A lot of people are impatient. You're going to realize in your new beginning, you may have to learn how to become patient. You may have to let go of trying to have control over everything. You may realize that it's only so much that you can do. You may have moments where you're needing to rest. Like, the seasons that we go through are necessary. And a lot of times what people think is starting over or having to take longer is just what you're meant to do. Like, you're not meant to live the same life as everybody else. So it's not going to make sense to the average person or people that you're once familiar with. So it's like, when you're in your seasons of isolation and you're by yourself and you're frustrated because things are not happening when you want them to, pay attention to what is happening. And if you really need to know, just ask yourself, okay, well, if I wanted certain things and they didn't happen, what could be the reason? And if you can't figure it out, it's bigger than you. It's greater than you. Like, patience is necessary when you're embracing a new beginning, because it's like, what you did 2-3 years ago, how you used to think, what you used to believe in, who you used to surround yourself with, who you used to be, is not who you are today. So it's like, when you're in these seasons of new beginnings, it's just, sometimes you gotta go with the flow. And that's the truth. Like, some beginnings require you to go with the flow. Some beginnings require you to be more action oriented. Some beginnings require you to be isolated. It just all depends. Like, once you're very intentional, once you start paying attention, what you know, left and right, right and wrong, what you need to do, what you not need to do, it's going to make sense to you. So the fourth thing when it comes to embracing your new beginnings is just do what makes sense to you. Everything I say, you may not always be in alignment with or compatible with or agree with. That's fine. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And the same thing with the people and the places and things around you. If people want to make fun of you or mock you for having to learn things at a certain time or process things because they don't process it the same way, they're not for you. Once again, you have to look at where you came, where you overcame, where you were versus where you are now. And if you know why you are where you need to be. You may not want to be here. You may feel like, I want to get out of here. Like, it's driving you insane. But it's like, it's part of the picture. 100% of the times, it's because it's a part of the picture. And it's some things maybe you don't understand until you get to the next point of your life. So it's just like, don't rush this new beginning. Learn to go with the flow. Learn to do what makes sense to you. Learn to be happy. Learn to take your time and just accept it, because there's nothing more you can do. Like, you don't have to keep starting over if you realize maybe I wasn't where I needed to be. Maybe I was doing things that weren't in alignment with who I was. And it's like, once you take it seriously, once you invest into yourself, it'll all start to make sense. But it's just like, pump your brakes, relax. It's only 24 hours in a day. It's only so much you can do. We're not about to be stressed and overwhelmed. We're going to figure it out day by day and just let the time go by. So thank you guys for watching the videos like always. Thank you for turning on your post notifications. Thank you for liking and sharing. And follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Let me know what you want to talk about. Are you excited? What do we need to focus on? And when you guys follow me on all my social media platforms, head to Instagram and on TikTok. Once again, I'll be going live, elaborating, letting you guys know about me and about you, and just chitter chatting, as well as booking your service and your sessions when you're ready to book your service and your sessions. Okay? Love you. Bye.